Peace and love, peace and love. Imara Ifawuyi here. Find your free. Thanks for coming through to check me out. I want to talk a little bit about Venezuela and the situation that's taking place out there. And how important it is for not only the Caribbean and for for Venezuela itself, but for all of us in the region. So as many of you know, I do live in the more southern part of Brazil, so we're quite a ways away, but Venezuela is our neighbor to the north. And right now there's a lot going on. A couple of months ago, Mr. Big Orange, Big T out in the US had decided that he was going to start picking on Venezuela again. All right. So Venezuela has been going through an economic free fall and a financial, free fall for many years now. That country, the inflation has it so that they're actual currency doesn't even have any value at all. The people are there trying to survive. Millions of people have left the country so that they could be abroad making money and sending it as remittance to their families in Venezuela. There's a lot going on there. And so it's in a really key area of the region too, because Venezuela is the number one country. It's the country with the most oil reserves, crude oil in the world. Okay, so there's a lot of oil down there. I believe some of it, about a quarter of it, belongs to Trinidad, and then the vast majority of the oil reserves down there are Venezuela's. Okay, so why is this important? It's because Big Orange decided that he was going to start picking on them again, despite everything they've been going on and all the crisis for many years now. And he is down there basically setting up shop. He has conscripted and pulled Trinidad into this mess and gotten permission to use the seas off of Trinidad to do all kinds of, battle related practice. They're even and I have some footage that I received. I'm not sure if I can share it. I'll have to ask, but of the U.S. military moving in all kinds of war related items, machinery, weaponry on land on Trinidad. So they're utilizing Trinidad. The U.S. government has gotten in with the prime minister there, Prasad, okay, the woman prime minister, and she is allowing Trump, Big T, to do whatever he wants down there, okay, which of course is very questionable because, Trinidad and Venezuela, they have a tight relationship. They share some of those reserves. They, have to work together and coordinate things because they're very tight, close neighbors. So it's very awkward for this prime minister to be, getting all close up with Big T when when they have these close relations with Venezuela, right? You got a lot going on because you got Colombia, who's pissed about what's happening because basically Trump has started targeting Venezuela again as of the last couple of months and saying that a whole lot of Uggs are coming out of Venezuela through the Caribbean and he needs to stop it, and he's going to stop the drug trafficking from the bottom of the Caribbean from Venezuela, and he's going to, and all this mess, knowing that Venezuela isn't even one of the countries that's known for doing a lot of trafficking. So that is just total nonsense. But what it is that he has other things that he's trying to do. There are other intentions. There are other agendas at hand that we're not being told about, and that is the reason. And so when you look here on the map, you can see that a lot of these vessels and these different aircraft carriers and different things are literally all over the Caribbean right now. This is where I used to live in the U.S. Virgin Islands, Henry E. Rolson Airport. They've got equipment and things that they're doing or utilizing that are based at the airport there. Puerto Rico has a lot going on. They're doing a lot of their drills and their military exercises out there on Puerto Rico. Even if you go, we have bases in the Dominican Republic. Okay, we've got Guantanamo Bay in Cuba. Any of these places are fair game for, being involved majorly if there was any kind of battle to set off in the Caribbean. Okay, and so what Trump has also been doing, as many of you have probably already heard, is striking boats. So basically, missile strikes on small boats that look like fishing boats. Honestly, I haven't seen anything that looked like something I would expect some major trafficker to be utilizing to get from one portion of the Caribbean to the other. Not speedboats, nothing like that. Just boats, just bombing boats out the water. Okay, and we already know that some of the people on these boats have been Trinidadians, they have been Ecuadorians, they have been people that were probably just fishing. Who knows what they were doing, right? But the fact of the matter is that these killings are be considered extrajudicial killings because there is no due process. There's been no court. There's been no due process. Nothing has been done to prove beyond a shadow of a doubt that these people are actually trafficking drugs. So this is just some random operation that is totally lawless outside of any kind of legal proceedings at all. And people are pissed. And it's especially upsetting that, you're seeing prime ministers like the minister of Trinidad, who either is afraid or either wants to be all tight with the U.S. And it's just such a problem because so much of the Caribbean is trying to bring themselves and bridge certain gaps and come together under a more unified front. And then you got ones that's just doing their own thing. So a lot is going on. I think about the fact that not only is the Caribbean being affected, I have so many people that I love in the Virgin Islands, all over the Caribbean, right? People that I know and love. And so thinking about that, then also thinking about what it means now that they're saying that Russia and China are down in Venezuela bringing some of their military equipment. And again, for those of you who don't know, Russia and China, plus Brazil, India, and South Africa make up an actual political entity by the name of BRICS, BRICS. And so with Russia and China being the main, the strongest powers in BRICS, and Brazil, where I live, also being a part of BRICS, it makes me wonder, like, if Big T really gets something popping, it's some real battle, and Russia and China are there to fortify Venezuela. Is Brazil going to be, is Brazil paramilitary even, or is Brazil going to be involved in some way? So there's just a lot to think about. People in the U.S. should be thinking about it. You know what I mean? Because what if there was a battle through the Caribbean that went all the way up to the U.S.? There is a lot going on. This shit is not nothing to be acting like it's just, the U.S. just doing this. No, this is serious. And anyone who doesn't look at it and want to know more about it and understand it and also prepare for the possibilities of anything right now is really, got their heads in the ground, in a hole in the ground, because it's serious, y'all. So tell me what you think. If you know anything more about what's going on in the Caribbean, if you've heard anything, I have seen videos on the ground in Trinidad of them bringing equipment and different military equipment, different weaponry, and vehicles, all kinds of things. So I know something is brewing that is serious down there right now. Okay, y'all. So let me know what you think. Peace.